Hey guys, what's up? It's your Raiti from Raiti's Rise. We're back here at Dream Giveaway Garage, and guess what? I have a steroid injected muscle car right here next to me. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this Ford Mustang H850 Dark Horse. But before we get into this supercharged rear-wheel drive high performance machine, let's talk about what's going on here. So maybe watching Raiti's Rides, every now and then you might hear the name Carroll Shelby, maybe even Jack Roush, Steve Saleen. These are names that when it comes to the Mustang have brought big performance numbers. Now, this one being an H850, obviously there's one name in the tuner segment, the engine builder and tuner segment that starts with an H, that would be Hennessey. Hennessey Performance, based out of Texas, ran by John Hennessey. Now this Dark Horse already came from the factory with a lot of go-fast goodies, but what John Hennessey did is that he injected it more with supercharged power. So what I want to find out is, if you're looking for a high-performance muscle car, is this the one you gotta own? Why don't we go ahead, let's dive into this one and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, it's that famous color, probably one of the most popular colors on any Dark Horse. It's called Vapor Blue. And what's great about it is that in the Florida sun, it does have that nice metal flake to it. With this though, don't judge a book by its cover, because wait until you see what's underneath that hood. Now, as we work our way down, on all Dark Horses, you're gonna get that full blacked out headlight housing, the LED tri-bar daytime running lamps and turn signals, LED headlights. We have functional openings in the lower corners with a little bit of gloss black, and this, you know, a lot of people are referring to this as the eyeliner. You have some eyeliner on the Dark Horse with this metallic flat gunmetal gray. I'm very curious to see what this would look like if it was all painted Vapor Blue. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And then of course, extra aero. You have that massive splitter that extends out, that's gonna give you extra downforce, stop air from going, or at least try to stop as much air as possible from going underneath the vehicle, because that's gonna create lift. But let me know what you think about the corner attitude of this pony car. Now, as we come across the front grille, the Dark Horse has a specific grille. Gloss black, large, round, sort of oval-shaped openings. You have that gunmetal gray Dark Horse, and then you have the gunmetal gray inlets, the air inlets on both sides. It's sort of like the nostrils of a horse to suck in all that cool air. And then on the lower side, you're getting the gloss black lower grille opening, just like up top. And then, like I said, that splitter that goes from one side to the other just gives it a nice aggressive look, but it's also functional pieces. Now, as we rise up, you still have your standard Mustang Dark Horse heat extractor, gloss black. This one does have the optional stripe kit. This one is the vinyl. If you want to go all in, you can get the stripes painted as well. I think the vinyl adds a nice flavor to the Vapor Blue paint job. I think it kind of gives it just a little bit more character. We also have, and you'll see when we get to the side, the gloss black painted roof. That also helps, I think, with the Vapor Blue. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with wheel and tire setup? So you're gonna get these 19-inch wheels, forged aluminum, nice V-spoke design all the way around. It's got that gunmetal gray finish to it. You have those Papa Smurf blue 6-piston Brembo calipers. Those rotors are 15.7 inches in diameter, 2-piece. They're gonna help cut down on heat buildup. And you'll also notice how the car sits a little bit lower. So you have some lowering springs to lower the car down, to kind of lower that center of gravity. Now, tires, we got 305 on the width up front with a 30 series sidewall, and I like to see these types of tires. Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Another thing is you'll see how you have that fender flare. Because we have wider wheels and tires up front than your standard Mustang, you do get that additional fender flare. But let me know what you think. Do you like the color of the wheel with the rest of the Vapor Blue? I'm digging it. What's nice is for 2025, you could actually option these as bronze, which is kind of cool. Now coming down the side, the only way to tell that this is a wolf in sheep's clothing is this badge. You got your H850. I can't wait to tell you what 850 stands for. Dark Horse badge. Remember, that's a whole new performance trim from Ford. That's gonna fall in line with the Boss 302s, the Boss 429s, the GT350s, all that. That's the Dark Horse, is the performance trim. You have that gunmetal flat gray finish just like up front on your mirror caps. And then, like I said, nice painted black roof. Everything else from the side is gonna be your standard Ford Mustang affair. Same side skirts as a Mustang GT or an EcoBoost. Door handles are color matched. Out back, we got more rubber to meet the road, baby. 315 on the width, 30 series sidewall. Like I said, you can see the Papa Smurf blue Brembo calipers, and you do have a limited slip diff to get the power to the ground. But nice to see that. Also, when you go Dark Horse, you're getting all the coolers. Oil cooler, diff cooler, bigger radiator. This is stuff to keep all the performance in check when the heat starts to build up. Now coming down the side, spin it around, you'll notice how you got that little fender flare extension, like I said, to kind of tuck in those extra wide tires. And then the Dark Horse is going to get its own unique wing. Nice large gloss black section with the gunmetal flat gray finish on it. And there is a gurney flap that is attached to this by the customer if they choose to do so, to give you a little bit extra downforce. And remember, with the gurney flap, it doesn't create a lot of extra drag, which is nice. You do have your tri-bar taillights out back, sequential. Love this carbon fiber insert around the license plate frame. That's a nice area to kind of add a little special touch. And then we have that quad tip exhaust that has had some work to it, because wait until you hear it rumble. It's gonna be freaking eargasmic when we do the sound clip and when we go on throttle. And like I said, you got a rear diff cooler to keep those temperatures down. My big zonk is there's only two H850 badges on this whole car, on the fenders. Do you think there should be one on the trunk lid? Let me know in the comment section. I'm gonna zonk it. I would like to see one on the back. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the big point. Let's pop that hood and see what 850 stands for. All right, guys, here comes the crescendo. We got the hood popped. You do have hood struts to hold open the hood. Check out all the beautiful carbon fiber work underneath the hood. There's that Dark Horse badge. And then as we drop down, we have the full dress-up kit with the aluminum, dark aluminum finish, the carbon fiber, even on the bracing, gives it that extra touch. But what I love is up front. You pop your hood at a Cars and Coffee event, people are gonna love this. Dark Horse Supercharged. Where's the badge? There it is, John Hennessey. And you're looking at that H850. This is number 6 of the ones that they're building for this model year. What are we looking at though? You're looking at a Whipple supercharged 5-liter Coyote V8. Instead of 500 horsepower, we're talking about 850 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque. You could get a 6-speed Tremec, or you could get a 10-speed automatic. Ours has the faster shifting 10-speed automatic. It does have upgraded fuel injectors, a larger fuel pump, that high-flow air induction system, and special engine calibration by Hennessey Performance. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, quarter mile in 10.9 seconds. If you owe Dom Toretto a 10-second car, this car will suffice. And let me show you what we got going on here. So you could see the addition of where they did the fuel injectors. Of course, you got that large, massive single throttle body. Dark Horse traditionally has the 2, nice large single throttle body with the split air boxes that all flow into that massive throttle body. And then I love the Whipple supercharger pulley up there. I can't wait to hear that thing whine. Oh man, my heart's pitter-pattering. We got some big time extra performance underneath the hood. What I want to find out is, what in the hell does it sound like? So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's fire up this pony and hear it gallop. right, guys, we're inside this vapor blue Ford Mustang H850 Dark Horse. And the fact that gone is the naturally aspirated setup, and now you have that supercharger underneath the hood. Wow, that really brings the performance to a new level. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, how much is this? I really am digging this muscle car. Good question. MSRP for a Dark Horse is right around $70,000, depending on how you option it. And then you're gonna have the additional cost of the engine build, which is gonna be another around $30,000. So quite a bit of money, but do you get way more in performance? Let's find out. To the door panels. What you'll notice is the interior is pretty much bone stock Dark Horse, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You have the Alcantara material in the center with the dark blue finish. No shiny chrome metal anywhere, even on the door handle. Door pocket is a good size. You could get your Big Mac in there, a large fry, an apple pie, and a Coca-Cola to wash it down. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, all Dark Horses get a chassis number from Ford, where they build them in Michigan. You have that beautiful blue stitching everywhere. Slide on in. I'm not gonna kick a dead horse, but you know, it's one of those things that the screens are terrible. I don't like the screen setup in here. I zonk it every time. They're just too big and they're stuck on. I wish they would have just integrated it a little bit nicer. But the good news is, my favorite part is the My Mustang screen, because this is where you could adjust your exhaust, you got your auxiliary gauges, all those different functions that are the most important. The rest of the stuff in the infotainment system, who cares? The other thing that I want to point out is all the AC controls and your heated steering wheel are built into the infotainment system. So to adjust your blower fan, you actually have to drag your finger. If you click this, it just closes it. So if you've been eating KFC, even though they're finger licking good, you're probably gonna get KFC grease all over the infotainment system. And then of course we have the navigation. It's very intuitive, just you gotta touch the screen for everything. Working your way down, you got those easy access buttons, that start stop, sort of like an atomic fireball red on the engine start stop button, real volume knob, USB-C, USB-A, 12 volt, you're gonna wanna run a radar detector, wireless charging with a little cooling fan. This one, I'm sad because it has the 10-speed automatic. The good news is you'll be able to get those consistent 10.9 second quarter mile times, which will you know, keep the peace with Dom Toretto and the rest of the crew, because you know that Dom Toretto, he went from being locked up in jail for beating a guy to death to being able to fly jet planes, use all sorts of heavy artillery and special fighting techniques and skills, and he never was trained. That's how crazy Dom Toretto is. This vehicle does have the electric drift brake. You could be just like Von Gittin Jr. and drift around, just don't drift it into a crowd or into a pole. We do have our Ford key fob, the Mustang key fob, with your engine start stop, and then the Hennessey key fob. This is worth an extra 5 horsepower. Soft touch, love the blue stitching. Open it up, we have some time slips. So these time slips, this is when we took the car to Bradenton Motorsports Park. So a 10.9 and both of them a 10.9. So that's good, consistent. That's what the automatic brings you, is consistency. The manual brings you more fun, but the 10-speed brings you consistency if you're drag racing people. I love the optional Recaros, the leather, the Recaro embroidery, the Alcantara. Yes, they're manual controls, but who cares? Because this bolstering hugs you like a mother hugs their newborn baby. And then on top of that, if you know any Ewoks, anybody from Wizard of Oz, that was one of the Munchkins, you could put them in the back seat. So that's all. That's the only type of people that are going to fit back there. Ewoks and Munchkins. But why don't you come over here at the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel in this H850 Dark Horse. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel, this 850 horsepower Dark Horse. Every time you open up the door, you get reminded what car you own, Mustang Dark Horse. Then you have simple pedal box, aluminum brake pedal, aluminum throttle. Where is my aluminum dead pedal, John Hennessey? I have my manual seat controls. I'm fine with it because these seats, they feel good. I mean, they just feel good. They hold you in place, they're comfortable. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of headroom in here. Steering wheel, you got your Alcantara, you got your leather, your blue stitching, it is flat bottom. And then on the back of the wheel, you do have your paddles to go up and down the 10-speed. Manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you have the other portion of that digital gauge cluster. I'm in track mode because that's how I roll, and we are gonna get on it and really show you how John Hennessey builds the power in these things. The other thing that I just have to say is I just wish that Hennessey would have done something with the interior. I mean, the Dark Horse interior is nice, but I just feel for this kind of money and specialness, it should have some special touches. Now, the Mustang does have a trunk. You could put things in it, but I don't care. I don't. What I care about is the same thing that you care about. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in this Dark Horse. All right, guys, we're inside this Mustang H850 Dark Horse. I have it in track mode, and I have the shift lever in M so that I can manually shift with the paddles. It is a beast. I've never driven a Dark Horse like this before, having this much power. Third gear, on throttle, here we go. Look at that, just pulls. It is insane. The amount of thrust you get from behind the wheel, and then the sound. The one thing that's a little disappointing, and you just, you know, every time I say this, I gotta give more and more credit to Dodge. There's like no supercharger whine, just a little bit. It's kind of sad. I feel like if you have a Whipple supercharger, you're spending all that money, you get it calibrated, the car, the whole 9 yards, it would be nice to have a little bit more supercharger whine. But one thing you are experiencing is the thrust. Second gear, on throttle. You have to be gingerly with this car though, because it's got a lot of torque. And even though I would prefer a 6-speed manual, the automatic does make it a little bit more controllable, I guess, for a lack of a better term. More controllable because you got one less thing going on. You're just shifting with the paddles rather than an actual shifter. But why don't we see how this Dark Horse handles even with all this power. On throttle, here we go. On those brakes, massive Brembos. Love the way the car downshifts. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Wow. Look at this. Just handles so well. That was one of the things that I know that Ford worked on, period, is getting a better steering feel and definitely getting more communication through the steering wheel so that you know what's going on underneath you. I mean, that's even more important because of all the horsepower that we have. I mean, it's mind-blowing, the horsepower of this car. Love the pops, the bangs. You got a real deal exhaust sound, nothing pumped in, nothing artificial, nothing like the real deal, baby. All right, guys, are you ready? From a dead stop, first gear. On throttle, here we go. Yeah. I have to admit, with those new Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, she hooks pretty damn good. She hooks pretty damn good. And that's why I say tires are everything. Without good tires and sticky tires, you just, the power is useless. But being able to get the power to the ground is what makes this car even that much better. Ready? Second gear. On throttle! God, the thrust. On the brakes. Nice downshift. Look at this. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Woo! 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 God, this car is freaking amazing. Freaking amazing. Wow. Best dark horse I've ever driven. Besides the manual. I would like the manual. But it is the fastest dark horse I've ever driven. And really the best sounding too, man. Jeez Louise. God. Where's my towel? So, definitely a special pony. And this is not a one-trick pony, that's for sure, because she handles and she goes fast in a straight line. But I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that it's been worth riding shotgun with me. We're gonna get back to Dream Giveaway Garage and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. Oh man, these are the days that I live for, and one of the many reasons why I started this channel, to bring you special cars like this H850 Dark Horse. Gotta thank everybody at Dream Giveaway Garage for getting us access to this giveaway vehicle. Now it's your turn, let me know what you think. Is this the performance way to go if you want a Mustang, if you want a muscle car? Is this the way that you're gonna spend your money? Handling and straight line performance? I don't know, that sounds like a winner. I'm dying to know what you have to say about it. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Gotta thank LGR. She's the muscles behind that lens, doing it better than anybody. So thank you, Lori, for being the best. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.